Hello, my name is Sarai the Samurai and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Have you been playing Pokemon for years and think, oh my gosh, I just wish Pokemon was a little more challenging, I wish it wasn't so easy? Well, that's great, because today I'm going to talk about 5 different Nuzlocke variants that will make your game harder. If you don't know what a Nuzlocke is, simply put, it is a challenge of self-imposed rules to make the Pokemon game you are playing more challenging. The typical rule set of a Nuzlocke includes catching only one Pokemon on each route. If you catch a Pokemon in one route and find the same species in another, that is considered a reroll under Dupe's Clause. If you run into a shiny, you can catch it. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead. You must either release the dead Pokemon or put it in an empty box if you are the sentimental type like I am. And last but not least, each Pokemon you catch must be named. Now that we've gone over what a Nuzlocke is, let's take a look at these 5 different variants. The first type of Nuzlocke I would like to go over is the Monolocke. In this type of Nuzlocke, you can only use one specific type of Pokemon. One of the biggest hurdles with this challenge is the limited Pokemon available, so Dupe's Clause is pretty much out the window. With this challenge, it's probably a good idea to go for a common type like Normal or Bug. I'd probably recommend you play a game with a lot of Pokemon available. Probably X and Y or Sun and Moon, or even Sword and Shield. I actually tried to poison Monolocke on Twitch. What I did was I had a friend send me an egg that would become my starter. In my case with Sword and Shield, poison types are very limited, and you don't really find one until you go to the wild area. If you go for a more common type though, basically progress through the game until you're able to catch a Pokemon, then the first Pokemon you see becomes your starter. The second Nuzlocke I'd like to go over is the Wonderlocke, or Supriselocke for Sword and Shield players. With this Nuzlocke, the moment you are able to catch a second Pokemon, you send your Pokemon away via Wonder Trade or Surprise Trade. The reason why you have to wait until you can catch a second Pokemon is because you're not allowed to trade off your starter if that's all you have. The game just won't let you. With this challenge, I recommend you trade away your weaker Pokemon first. That way, if the first Pokemon you receive is level 1, you can train it up a couple levels so you won't have a harder time fighting trainers or wild Pokemon. If you get a Pokemon from a trade that's too strong to listen to you, or that's a higher level than the gym or totem Pokemon that you're about to face, you can retrade until you get a weaker Pokemon. With this type of Nuzlocke, I'd probably recommend Sword and Shield. There's still people that play Pokemon X and Y and Sun and Moon, but you'll run into a lot of repeated trades. This next variant is probably my personal favorite challenge to play. This Nuzlocke is called the Wedlocke, and it's a very different Nuzlocke than those mentioned prior. The rules of this Nuzlocke is you must pair your Pokemon up. The pairing is typically male and female, so if you start out with a male Pokemon, your next encounter must be a female. When you catch the female Pokemon, the next Pokemon you catch can be whatever gender, and then so on and so on. You cannot change your Pokemon out with anything in the PC unless one or both Pokemon in a pair faint. If only one Pokemon faints, you replace it with a Pokemon in the PC that's the opposite gender. If you don't have a Pokemon of the opposite gender, the survivor will basically be running solo until a new mon is found. You cannot catch genderless Pokemon as well, so you wouldn't be able to catch Pokemon like Magnemite or any legendary, well, aside from Heatran. You're also only allowed to switch in and out of a battle from your pair. If your opponent uses Roar and sends out a Pokemon that is a different pair, you can now only switch between those two. If a Pokemon dies in battle, you're not allowed to switch out until the battle is either over or the other Pokemon is dead. This Nuzlocke is probably one of the hardest variants to try. I would probably recommend playing this challenge if you're really wanting to test yourself. This next Nuzlocke is a pretty difficult one, but for a completely different reason. The Evolution-locke has the basic rule sets of a Nuzlocke, but the biggest difference is you're not allowed to evolve your Pokemon or catch Pokemon that do not evolve. This is a variant that gets harder as the game progresses. Since you're not allowed to evolve Pokemon, the difficulty scales as you wouldn't necessarily have the stats you would if you had evolved Pokemon. There is a rule that some people utilize where you can evolve only one Pokemon after beating a gym, which does help make the game more manageable, but if you're like me and you like to make things as challenging as possible, the only Pokemon that will be in your team that is evolved is a second stage Pokemon you find in the wild that can still evolve. With this variant, I'd probably recommend X and Y again. With the amount of Pokemon available, and how many Pokemon are still able to evolve, this would be a very good game to test out the Evolution-locke. The last Nuzlocke I'm going to talk about is the Hardcore Nuzlocke. This variant has the same rule set as the normal Nuzlocke as well, but it does have some extra caveats. One of the biggest rule set additions is you cannot use any items in battle. That includes healing items, X attacks, X defense, anything that boosts your stats while in battle. You are allowed to heal outside of battle though, and you are allowed to utilize held items. Another rule is you must train your Pokemon up to but not exceed the highest level of a gym leader's Pokemon. You also must battle in set mode. This eliminates you switching your Pokemon to a Pokemon stronger than your opponent's next Pokemon. What I love about this particular variant is it can apply to any Nuzlocke you're doing. Currently I'm playing through every Pokemon game on Twitch just to learn how to play this variant, and even though it's super challenging, it's also super rewarding. For this variant, I recommend you try it out on a Pokemon game you know very, very well. And there you go. 5 different Nuzlocke variants that will add more challenge to your game. What do you think of the variants we discussed today? Let me know in the comments down below. I do plan on going over more later in an upcoming video, so subscribe to stay tuned for that. And I will catch you all later. Peace.
I